Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we've got some really big Cardano ADA news that you must not miss. If you enjoy this sort of content, hit the like button, subscribe, and let's waste no time. There's so much to get into. Let's go. So we're going to start here on coin market cap. The total market cap of crypto globally is up 2.13% at the time of recording and sits at $3.96 trillion. Now, I have said many times my forecast expectations is for us to exceed $10 trillion by market cap. And I think that means we've got more than 2 times the amount of money to flow in to crypto for that to actually come to fruition. Obviously, I'm not a financial advisor. Treat this purely as educational, entertainment purposes only. Make sure you do your own research before making any investment decisions. I'm not encouraging anybody to invest in crypto. It is risky. You do risk losing all of your money, so never invest more than you're willing to lose. And obviously, engage with a financial advisor, because I am not a financial advisor. We've got Bitcoin at $114,000. $82.38, up 1.34% in the past 24 hours. We've got Cardano up 0.71% at 88 cents 63, and there's just a lot to dig into. But the forecasting has been immense. I have been telling you to expect a green start to September, at least the first 15 to 17 days, and then we're going to have a lot of volatility with the Fed interest rate potential cut that is ahead of us. And we've been forecasting September as a Fed interest rate cut for a long time, right? The forecasting has been immense, and if you're not up to speed or you're only hearing this for the first time, join us in the free educational Discord, link in the description of the video. You're missing out, right? Because we're forecasting a lot of this stuff before it happens, and we're sitting here, gloating about it, right? And rightly so, because we've got to be proud of the work, the hard work, the effort that we put into all the forecasts, right? If we're not going to rave about it, nobody is. But we've got Cardano founder Charles Hoskinson says Ethereum is doomed to fail. Here's how. In a wide-ranging CoinDesk interview yesterday, Charles Hoskinson, the founder of Cardano, sharpened a years-long critique of Ethereum's long-term viability, arguing that the network's resilience on rollups, or reliance, I should say, on rollups and external scaling layers has created economic incentives that will ultimately, hollow out the base chain. While acknowledging Ethereum's technical progress, he, is basically saying that, as a general purpose smart contract ledger, the project has or neutralized, I should say, its ecosystem that will slowly but surely eat, it alive, right? So ultimately, what Charles, I believe, is suggesting here is that a lot of the projects are going to leave Ethereum. They are going to go elsewhere, whether that is a layer 2 on Ethereum or whether that is another, smart contract layer 1 platform or another layer, right? But ultimately, he's saying that the time will come, and I agree with it. It's something that Nick and myself have talked about for a very, very long time. But this bull run, I'm expecting some pretty good moves for Ethereum. I'm very heavily in Ethereum alongside many other altcoins, but I do plan to sell pretty much all of my crypto come the peak of this bull run, or somewhere close to the peak, because nobody really sells the peak. But yeah, look, you've got to kind of acknowledge what's going to happen, right? It's great to have short-term investments, medium-term investments, and long-term investments. In my opinion, Cardano is more of a short, medium, and long-term investment, whereas Ethereum is very much a short-term investment strategy, from my perspective anyway. Do your own research. It's just my opinion. But Cardano futures hit $2.5 billion as traders go all in on Cardano ADA. Now, I've done a lot of videos recently talking about our expectations for Cardano. Lots of people talking about big moves on the horizon for Cardano ADA, and ultimately that translates into, you know, traders, you know, going deep into the market, right? And they're in the futures, longing and shorting Cardano ADA, and ultimately this is a good sign because there's a lot of eyes on Cardano. We've got altcoin signals. Michael van der Poppe highlights APT, SUI and Cardano upside potential. Now these are projects that, you know, I've been talking about for a long time. APT is Aptos, and then you've got SUI. They both use the same programming language. Both teams come from Meta, where Meta was looking to build their own blockchain, and they use the Move programming language, a very good programming language in my humble opinion. Very good projects alongside Cardano. Now I did project reviews, and I do this in our Discord, so do check out the free educational Discord, link in the description of the video. I did project reviews on APT and SUI before they launched, saying that they were solid projects to look at, right? Now, that's why I say go do your research, right? Because, you know, if you know which people to be following, they can help at least get you onto, you know, the sniff of some really good projects before they launch, and that is exactly what we've been doing. But Michael van der Poppe, as a well-known, followed crypto strategist, believes that the altcoin market still has potential to fuel or plenty of fuel in the tank still. And he's talking about big moves for these altcoins. I'm not going to get into the size of the moves that he's talking about, but I am in agreement, alignment with what he's saying here, right? So go check it out. Cardano price prediction, ADA eyes $2.08, breakout as grayscale ETF plans spark bullish momentum. Again, you've got your documentation listed in this article. And again, lots of people talking about moves to the upside. Now, I do think that it would be wrong of me not to highlight my forecast. My forecast is after the 17th volatility. I'm expecting a, you know, pretty sizable pullback in stocks and crypto before we have liftoff into the biggest bull run in crypto history. That's my thoughts, my opinions. Doesn't mean I'm right, doesn't mean I'm wrong either. You've got to do your research, do your due diligence, and see whether it resonates with you or not. But ultimately, my forecast suggests volatility from the 17th of September onwards. You know, that could be both to the downside and to the upside as people try to price in a Fed, you know, decision on interest rate cuts or not. And ultimately, I'm expecting the cut. I don't really mind if it's 25 basis points or 50 basis points, but ultimately a cut nonetheless is something that I think we're going to see more of throughout the year. And ultimately, this is going to drive in a lot of liquidity into risk on assets. And that is going to be a fantastic time. It's going to be that euphoria moment for blockchain technology and crypto. And, you know, the stars are aligning, in my opinion. This is what leads me to believe that this is going to be the biggest bull run in crypto history. Regulation on side, you know, the pivot from, you know, I guess enforcement action from the SEC over in the US, you know, the open and willingness from Wall Street to invest in these altcoins and, you know, Bitcoin, right? I think that the stars are aligning. It's a very exciting time to be alive. And ultimately, we got probably one more really big opportunity, minus any black swans that could always happen, for us to be, you know, positioning ourselves really well for that. I'm already positioned. You know, I think it's too risky to sell before the 17th and buy back lower, just in case, you know, you are wrong, because there's always that chance. Nothing's guaranteed. And yeah, for me, I'm positioned, but I've got capital on the sides ready to deploy more if and when the opportunity presents itself. Charles Hoskinson acknowledges Cardano's biggest mistake back in 2021. Charles Hoskinson, the founder of Cardano, has openly reflected on what he considers the project's biggest mistake, acknowledging the miscalculation gave a major boost to rival blockchain Solana. So yeah, look, he briefly held the third spot on coin market cap. At the time, the network was preparing to roll out long-awaited smart contracts, a milestone meant to solidify its position in the market. However, he admitted the chosen approach proved to be too restrictive for developers, and it lost momentum, and Solana gained from that. So really interesting, developments there. And Bitcoin DeFi could eclipse Ethereum, according to Charles Hoskinson, the founder of Cardano. And he's saying that basically Bitcoin is a sleeping giant, but the amount of money that is held in Bitcoin that is not being used could be used in DeFi on the Cardano ecosystem. I think you couple that with the midnight compliant privacy layer, bringing in healthcare, businesses. Cardano is set, in my opinion, and it is just an opinion, for a very solid bull run and a very long drawn out investment opportunity, in my opinion. Just an opinion, not fact. And you can let me know whether you think that is a good opinion or a bad opinion in the comments below. If you enjoyed today's video, hit the like button, subscribe, and I will catch you in tomorrow's video.